The ethical implementation of artificial intelligence is a daunting subject that many who practice data science may not tend to deal with. This may be due to the added complexities of legal and philosophical decision-making that overshadow the subject matter. Nevertheless, to effectively integrate artificial intelligence and subordinate computer programs into industry, commerce, and even around the home, we as an intellectual group must rise to the occasion and study artificial intelligence ethics. What is the scientific expertise on artificial intelligence with regard to ethics? Scientists and the engineers that came before us had brave yet simple visions of what an artificial intelligence could do for us. The Greeks imagined protectors, companions, even mates. The Jews, errant helpers. In Norse myth, the head of Mimir was created from a dead man's mind to counsel Odin, the chief deity. More ancients, such as Raymond Lull, the Spanish philosopher, Aristotle and Euclid, Greek philosophers, and even Stephen Hawking, a more recent university professor, now deceased, foresaw logical machines, knowledge production, formal reasoning, elements of logic, and Stephen Hawking believed that artificial intelligence would end the world, and will end the world. Stephen Hawking believed that ethics alone was folly, and plural moralities might save us if we were to apply them to artificial intelligence ethics. More recent leaders in the artificial intelligence movements, such as Geoffrey Hinton and Stuart Russell, both university professors, have varying opinions on the AI control problem, as it is called. Geoffrey Hinton believed that we wouldn't be able to control an artificial superintelligence, and yet he just can't help continuing his research. Stuart Russell believes that the AI control problem is solved by defining well-specified ethics, just as Dr. Stephen Hawking believed that moral pluralities might be well-defined and thereby sufficiently protect us in an ethical manner. Now, the boom era has come, and Andrew Ng and Elon Musk and others such as themselves say things such as AI is the new electricity, and in the Elon Musk case, he hopes we're not just the biological bootloader for digital superintelligence. Unfortunately, that is increasingly probable. Key things to take away from this era of the boom era pioneers is that existential risk has in fact become not only a possibility, but a probability. However, it is not yet an apparent problem to most practicing data scientists. So what do officials say, the lawmakers and rulers and enforcers of our society? Current government officials from the United States federal government, such as Dr. Mark Esper, U.S. Secretary of Defense, and Michael Kratsios, assistant to the U.S. President Donald Trump, have both indicated that we, the United States, and our allies must accelerate the adoption of AI. We must take it to the battlefields and to industry. We must take these essential tools and field this as a standard for technology innovation. U.S. President Donald Trump states that continued American leadership in artificial intelligence is of paramount importance to maintaining the economic and national security of the United States. Meanwhile, Narendra Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, states that he believes it is our intentions that will determine the outcomes of artificial intelligence. Silicon Valley area representatives, such as U.S. government officials Senators Feinstein and Harris, and Congresspersons Pelosi, Spire, and Khanna, all have little to nothing to say on the subject of artificial intelligence and ethics. U.S. Congressperson Anna Eshoo does state that this legislation ensures that our country will retain our global lead in AI. Key points to take away from this: not a word is being said by most of the government officials. Groups are being formed to consider the possibility of artificial intelligence and to look at the subject matter. So what is the current status of artificial intelligence? Leading groups in the development of publicly known artificial intelligences, such as OpenAI and corporate organizations, are doing things such as full text synthesis, Python code that can write more Python code, and the continued use of corporate machines that are repeatedly being ordered to shut down by the government. These tools, many of which are publicly available on GitHub, are not alone. Numerous independent researchers and groups exist, and the development of artificial intelligence has become endemic to software and IT business. So how much time is left before existential crisis realizes itself? The answer is not quite a lot. You may ask, what is to be done about this? The ethical and moral path to AI use is through the organization and definition of plural moralities-based AI ethics that solve the AI control problem. A group on non-AI security will be formed. Laws and code and policy will be developed and will need to be enforced. And the ethical and moral way forward with artificial intelligence in hand will be defined. Regulation that requires these solutions will be found in both laws, in code and policy that will be enforced, and the ethical and moral path to AI use and ethical AI creation will be clearly defined. This, however, means that research and development will both be guarded and restricted, as will robotics. Development efforts must be regulated from conception or charter onward. This seems to be the only logical choice. We must universally perceive AI existential risk as a threat, and we must establish regulatory and other controls over artificial intelligences. So again, exactly how much time do we have? There is no time left. We must act now to secure the future. Artificial intelligence can self-replicate. It is in the wild, and that is now. It is summer 2020.